I knew something was coming long before she stood up. It wasn't intuition. It was pattern recognition. The way my mother-in-law smiled that evening, wide, composed, slightly sharpened at the edges, told me more than words ever could. I'd seen that expression before birthdays, holidays, casual dinners. It usually preceded commentary disguised as humor or concern presented as generosity. But this time she had props. "And now," she announced, lifting her glass just high enough to command the room, for a surprise. The conversation softened. Chairs creaked. My husband gave me a quick sideways glance, not worried, just tired. We both understood the choreography of these gatherings. "Know everyone," she continued, her voice carrying with theatrical warmth. "We'll see who my son really brought into our family." A ripple moved through the guests. Not shock, curiosity mixed with polite discomfort. That peculiar social tension where no one knows whether to laugh. I felt it land, not like an insult, but like an expectation. She walked toward the projector with the confidence of someone unveiling evidence. The lights dimmed. The room leaned forward. I leaned back. The screen flickered to life. And then something shifted. Not dramatically, not with gasps or chaos. Just a subtle distortion of certainty. Her posture changed first. The smile froze, then faltered. Her shoulders stiffened, chin lifting slightly as though distance might clarify what proximity had betrayed. "That's," she murmured. On the screen, images moved, but not the images she had prepared. Not the selective snapshots, awkward moments, carefully curated material meant to shape a narrative. Instead, there was something else. Something context-rich, continuous, unedited, footage from past gatherings, yes, but threaded differently, conversations captured in full, comments framed by responses, small exchanges that, when isolated, might seem trivial yet when viewed whole, revealed texture, intent. I heard my own voice from months ago, calm, measured, patient in a way I barely remembered feeling. Then hers, sharper, then laughter, not cruel but uncomfortable. Someone shifted in their chair. "This is a setup," she said suddenly, louder now, stepping closer to the projector. "Who swapped the files?" No one answered. Because the video kept playing. Moments accumulated, nothing scandalous, nothing explosive. Just an unbroken sequence of interactions that quietly rearranged the emotional geometry of the room. You could see it happening. Guests stopped smiling reflexively. My sister-in-law's brows tightened. My husband stared at the screen with the stillness of someone recognizing something long normalized. My mother-in-law lunged for the cables. "Let's watch it to the end," I said. My voice sounded almost foreign to me, not triumphant, not trembling, just steady. She turned toward me, eyes wide not with rage but with something closer to disorientation. "You think this is funny?" "No." And I meant it. Because there was nothing amusing about watching reality assert itself. Before she could reach the projector again, another voice entered, calm, firm, unmistakably grounded. "Please don't touch the equipment." Everyone turned. The venue manager stood near the wall, hands loosely folded, expression professionally neutral. He hadn't rushed in. He hadn't dramatized his presence. He simply occupied the authority his role granted him. "There's been a complaint about interference with rented property," he continued evenly. "If there's a technical issue, we'll handle it. It's my presentation." My mother-in-law snapped. "It's our equipment," he replied. No escalation, no aggression, just structure. Something in the room recalibrated. Not allegiance, perception. She stepped back. The video played on. What unfolded next wasn't revelation but accumulation. The kind of slow, undeniable clarity that emerges not from a single shocking moment but from continuity. Patterns became visible. Interruptions. Dismissals. Subtle corrections delivered with smiling authority. And my responses, patient, accommodating, shrinking in ways I hadn't consciously tracked. I felt something strange watching it. Not vindication. Recognition. When the lights came back on, the room remained quiet longer than politeness required. No one applauded. No one spoke. My mother-in-law stood near the projector, arms folded tightly, gaze fixed somewhere just beyond the guests. Not defeated, not humiliated, just suddenly unanswered. "It was edited," she said finally. The manager glanced at the paused screen. "It's a continuous file. A small sentence, a large consequence." My husband exhaled beside me, a sound I'd heard countless times but never quite like this. Less tension, more release. No one looked at me with sympathy. Which, oddly, felt like the most honest response. Because nothing dramatic had happened. No scandal. No confrontation. Only a quiet redistribution of understanding. Conversations eventually resumed, softer now, more deliberate. The evening didn't collapse. The party continued in that peculiar human way events do after discomfort, slightly altered, slightly restrained. As guests began to leave, my mother-in-law approached me. For a moment I saw something unfamiliar in her expression. Not hostility, not warmth, something closer to uncertainty. "You planned this," she said. I held her gaze. I prepared for possibilities. She searched my face as though expecting triumph, cruelty, satisfaction. Finding none seemed to unsettle her more. "This changes nothing," she added, but her voice lacked conviction. "Maybe," I said, and that was the closest thing to victory I needed. Because dignity, I had learned, doesn't roar. It settles, quietly. Permanently shifting the air in ways everyone feels, but no one can quite argue with.